It's June happy hour time here at the LinkedBanker, WSI, and now communitybanking.ai, all of the multiple personalities that I have these days. But we go live here the second Thursday of every month at 5 p.m. time for our happy hour events. And I am very excited to be joining you all and to have folks come up on stage and be part of the conversation and just have a discussion, kind of like a happy hour. You don't even need to bring a drink if you don't want to. You can, but you don't need to. So, hey, Jarrett, I see you are up on stage. I just want to give everybody also a little tip. We'll wait for maybe your camera to come on, or maybe you knew or you didn't. But if you are interested in coming up on stage and being part of the live conversation, visit us at www.thelinkedbanker.com/happy hour. On that page, you're going to scroll down just a bit, and on the left-hand side, there is a button to join the Restream. That will bring you directly over here to the Restream platform. I'll see you in the waiting room, and you can jump in and join me live and be part of the discussion. So, we do have a guest, but it doesn't seem like he's been able to get his camera or his audio to work. Jared, are you there? Hello. You better come on stage, or I'm just going to have to harass you and tease you for being a technology person and not knowing how to get on. Although sometimes the Restream platform can be a little temperamental. I get it. So, but for those of you that might be watching, if you are interested in coming up on stage, visit us, thelinkedbanker.com/happy hour. I've got a couple of people that I know I probably need to just send that direct link to. That might make it a little bit easier for them to go ahead and join. So let's go ahead and we'll give that a shot and see who else might be able to make it. So let's see here. Yeah, add to the stream. Oh, you're in here twice now. Look at you. Still trying to spin. So while we're waiting, let me give you a little bit of explanation of what the happy hour is. These are unstructured, ad hoc. The only structure that we have really is we just go live the second Thursday of the month at 5 p.m. Eastern. And these are designed to bring people in to network, to share, to have discussions about what's on your mind, what's happening in your world. You can boast, you can brag, you can bring a question, we can have some dialogue. We are going live across my own individual LinkedIn profile, as well as the Linked Bankers YouTube channel and my personal Facebook profile. So we are live across 3 different platforms. So while most of the engagement we get here is on LinkedIn, we definitely want to make sure that if you're joining from the YouTubes or the Facebooks, that we say hello to you as well. Same thing goes if you want to join the conversation and be part of the discussion, go to our Link Banker, and then you can pop in and say hello. So, but we do have a new, well, I say a new face. Dane, you've been on before, but it's good to see you back. You're newly employed back with us.
Yes.
And yeah, so excited that you are back. So
Can
welcome.
you hear me?
I can. We got you.
Oh, great.
Looks like you're at a
How's it
disco.
going?
What are you doing?
You said this is called a happy hour.
Nice. Well, I said you don't have to bring a drink, but you certainly can if you like. So yeah, very cool.
So I just started a new role at Ives Bank as a digital marketing analyst. And so my whole job is to make sure that their digital marketing is working and profitable.
Cool.
So there's just a lot to set up because there was not a lot of accountability so far. So that's my job. And I just started last week, so it's still very new.
Nice. Well, that's cool. And I know that Jarrett, welcome. Good to see you finally got in here, my man.
Finally made it. I had to change the settings around. Had to allow
finally made
the browser to
Yeah.
get to it.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
It looks like you maybe jumped off the computer and just went to mobile phone mode. So maybe that helps.
It was something with the audio with LinkedIn
Yeah.
for some reason through my phone. It like for a split second I heard you speak and then it went away. So then I joined from the browser on my phone. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
So
cool.
Yeah.
Fun. So
Yes,
all right. Well, let's go ahead and chat a little bit. So Dane reached out to me. So you've been on the LinkedBanker. It was a while ago, and then I haven't seen you for a while. And shot a note and connected. I know you had a couple of things that you specifically wanted to talk about in your new role as in the digital marketing space for your new bank. So if you want to go ahead and take the microphone, since you weren't the first one here, but you were the first one here that actually could talk to me. We'll let you go ahead and kick off the conversation. I'm curious though what you're drinking. That looks like maybe a gin and tonic, maybe.
Yep. No, it's a tequila reposado.
Okay.
Tequila soda.
Oh, tequila and soda.
Yeah.
Wait, are you at a conference or a casino?
I'm in a bar called the Empire of the Incas. So it's all Peruvian food. It's across the street from my office.
There you go.
Awesome.
It is the happy hour. I feel like I should go next door across, like behind my wall here, and grab me a Guinness and enjoy the beverage with you. So
yeah.
I was gonna take the call in the office, but everyone's like, "Why are you still here? It's 5 o'clock. Yeah. Go."
It's
actually
5 o'clock.
A security issue.
Yeah.
So
and they probably don't have tequila and soda in the office either. So
no, they don't.
You're in a better place. So, but you shot me a note on LinkedIn with a couple of questions that you wanted to tee off just to get some thoughts. And I've got some ideas. It's always interesting to see who shows up in the chat and who maybe has some thoughts. So ping pong lessons, Scott, you need to get on the live stage, my friend. I know you're sitting in the office, but this is my buddy Scott. He is the absolute worst ping pong player the FBI has ever graduated from Quantico. So I'm just gonna say that right now. Yeah, and I can say that because he's far, far away. But I know if he were next to me, he's big enough where he could hurt me, or he knows how to shoot a gun very well. But anyway, all right, Dane, I'm going to shut up. What are the things that you've got on your mind? What are you talking about from a digital perspective, and how can we help?
So I found out that our CEO is highly resistant to AI. And we've been talking about AI for a long time on this this meetup here. And I want to ask you guys, how do you combat or persuade people who are skeptical about using AI for things as small as just Copilot for schedule, like transcribing meetings, to like data analytics, to actually implementing like personalization on websites and for email and stuff like that? How do you convince stakeholders that it's not a security risk, a data breach risk?
Yep. Well, first off, it can be if it's not configured right. And that's obviously what bankers, I know I got a cybersecurity dude here, so I got to be careful to say, no big deal. Just jump right in. Everything will be fine. Mythos.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's like anything else in the world of banking. And as bankers, we manage risk for a living. We manage risk when we do a mortgage. We manage risk when we decide to open a checking account and issue a debit card. We manage risk when we give our lenders the ability to post on LinkedIn, to build relationships and to establish subject matter expertise to grow business. So AI is just another layer of that risk. And with any risk, there's ways that you can reduce the likelihood of bad things happening, brainstorm about what those bad things are, and then say, if we're worried about PII and cybersecurity and whatnot, then we don't give our employees the ability to do that. We train them how to avoid those things. But there are so many ways that you can use AI where you're not involving sensitive customer data, ideation, marketing material. I'm helping to run the Graduate School of Banking in Madison's AI Innovation Series this week. It's all virtual. We've got 9 sessions. We've got our last 2 tomorrow in the morning and the afternoon. and we've been spending, so this is really top of mind for me. We've been spending a ton of time talking about why PII shouldn't be the reason to keep you from doing it. Even if it's just getting your employees to experiment and play with it on their own, knowing that we don't put any customer sensitive, non-public, private information in, but then having aha moments, looking for light bulb ideas of ways that we could use it, and having a policy and a procedure and a governance structure. It takes work. It's not easy, but the reality is AI is not going anywhere. It's becoming more and more ingrained in our lives, both personally and professionally. And the longer that you stay on the sidelines, the harder it's going to be to get caught back up. And doesn't mean you jump in without having swimmies on if you don't know how to swim, but you need to have some level of familiarity and a starting point to at least get on the playing field so that you're not left behind. I'm going to pass it over to Garrett and have you kind of chime in from a cyber perspective and a security perspective. Anything else you'd like to add to that commentary?
Yeah, we're on the actual opposite end of the spectrum with this, right? Like our senior management's highly encouraging the bank to peruse AI solutions. The big thing there, though, is, I would ask, how thorough is your vendor management program? I kind of head up our third-party management and review process as well, and that's gone to a whole nother level now with AI. So we dig into what do the training models look like? What kind of data is used to train it, right? What's the model validation look like in that third-party review process? So, I don't know what that looks like for you guys, but maybe, presenting that in a way like, hey, is this something that we could step up our third-party management and our reviews? I think that would be a good thing. But one question I wanted to ask you is what are his reservations? Like, what does he say? What are his pushbacks?
I mean, what I'm told is that he just does not want his name in the paper for a data breach. This is our CEO.
Yep.
And
nobody does.
So I think
nobody wants that. Yeah.
Of course not.
I'm of the impression that it's out of ignorance and not out of like factually based concerns.
Yeah. Well, it also there's a bunch of training that would need to go into place with your employees as well, kind of tying into what Eric was just talking about. With Copilot, I don't know how your network is configured, how you guys have Office 365 configured, right, for the usage of Copilot. But Copilot is contained within your 365 environment, right? So anything that you're using Copilot for within the 365 environment, that data stays the same. It would be no different. Like if I'm working on an Excel workbook, let's say, for instance, a little Copilot image pops up, and I can ask it like, hey, I'd like to can you create a way to tie this worksheet to this worksheet with a lookup, formula, et cetera, et cetera. And it'll automatically do that for me and incorporate it straight into the Excel workbook, right? Even though that the Excel workbook could have information that's bank information, like our risk assessment, let's say, for instance, right? That data is never leaving our 365 environment because of how it's configured. So you need to work with your IT team to make sure that Office 365 is configured properly as well, and have them explain that to their president also. If it is, data is not going anywhere, right?
Yeah.
It's in your environment. So
Yep. Yeah, there are definitely options and platforms that you can use that stay inside of 365 that are built inside of your Azure environment that can connect to the models and use the capabilities. If you want to stay with Copilot, that's great. If you want to be able to stay inside of Azure, but bring in Claude, bring in ChatGPT, bring in Gemini, you have the ability to do that as well. And governance and risk and controls are now all the rage. That's what everybody's talking about, is how do we make sure we can control what has happened, what is happening, what data is there, identification, blocking, redaction, reporting, logging, all of those things. You just have to understand that there's tools out there that you can use. Certainly giving everybody access to a free model and saying, let's go on AI would definitely put you on the front page, because that's not a good thing. And I made a comment in a podcast that I just recorded that in most cases, the last time you really talked about security and privacy to your employees is when you talk about online banking and password management. And what do we say to our staff? You have to look in the browser before you put anything that's sensitive in. You got to look for that little lock, and you got to look for HTTPS. And that means that that website's secure. So you can put your online banking username and password in there. That doesn't mean the same thing as we can dump PII in, but a bank teller or a bookkeeper or a loan administrative clerk is going to see HTTPS Claude, HTTPS ChatGPT, and go, my IT person told me HTTPS means it's secure, so I can load my loan customers in and figure out how I can close the loans faster or process their applications faster, or outbound calling program based off of balance, looking things up with account numbers. And it's you said it, ignorance, it's education, it's making sure people understand what's going on, because this is foreign territory to a vast number of people. They've never experienced anything like this, and they treat it like they've treated other platforms, and it's not. It's something completely different. So
one other point too is, if you want to bring like something to his attention, another, fraud and risk is the usage of AI in cybercrime, in the fraud and risk department specifically, is becoming pretty frightening, right?
Yeah.
How they determine whether something is AI is how precise it is. When it's like the reCAPTCHA stuff, let's just use that as an example. I mean, that's so easy for AI to do the reCAPTCHA stuff now. And that's just one basic, just everybody can relate to that, right? Because everybody knows what that is. But that how they determine it's AI when you're, sliding the puzzle piece over and dropping it in, is how precise it is. If it's perfectly clicking on the center pixel and then dropping it perfectly into it, then it knows it's AI, right? And this stuff is happening across the board on higher levels within the fraud and risk area. So with AI being able to complete these fraud tasks, right, for these cyber criminals. So in my mind, the only way to combat AI, and that's increasing in an exponential rate, right, AI cybercrime, is with AI. So that would be, the argument there would be like, one way to not make the front page is to start bringing AI into our institution to combat AI.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So,
Fight fire with fire.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be a great Metallica song.
Yes, it would.
I am just saying. Yes,
yes,
you never
it
know.
would.
Yeah.
yeah.
So kind of related as it relates to privacy, and you got to be careful. So I already mentioned Mythos, and that elicited a response from Jarrett. So I saw the hands go up and the eyes.
Fable 5's out there now. I mean, we're
already,
it's
I know.
Being released to the wild, and who knows?
It's not that you need Mythos or any of that to get to it, but Anthropic on their Mythos level models updated its retention period. Even if you've got do not remember, 30 days for all prompts. And there's conversation we had earlier about, even if you use ChatGPT, they're in a lawsuit with the New York Times. So whatever you put into ChatGPT is being retained as part of that model as well. And even if you have a conversation and you've got data retention set to 0 and you're using a model that's not saving it by default, I've read stories where if you press the thumbs down, the reaction, how well did this do? If you press thumbs down, well, that sends your entire conversation back to the mothership so they can analyze what it is that you talked about and where they missed the mark. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's being used to train the model, but you put your conversation into the system for them to review. Now it's being retained and analyzed. So those are all elements of understanding and awareness that you need to have, but still shouldn't mean that you're not going to be on, you don't want to be on the front page for mortgage fraud or for doing a loan to a business that folds and, suffers a giant economic loss either. We know how to underwrite credit. It's not something that we've ever done, underwriting in AI. So it's definitely a different experience for sure. So hopefully that helps a little bit. So, uh-oh, my FBI agent just figured out how to get on. He's joining from his office, which means his freaking pool. Did I mention he's retired FBI? Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of money to be made, Eric, when you're an expert witness attacking banks for stupid things that they do.
Exactly. So let's put your positive hat on for a minute here. If a bank wanted to get involved in artificial intelligence, obviously we need to understand the risks. What are the things that a bank CEO should understand as to a responsible way of engaging with artificial intelligence?
Well, hey everyone, I'm Scott Augenbaum. I'm a protege of Erica as a ping pong player and stuff like that.
I taught him everything he knows about LinkedIn too.
Yeah.
Just going to say that out loud.
We have to catch on to the artificial intelligence train. And it's for everyone who's here, it's trying to understand it and learn it as much as possible, but also kind of understanding the risks of it too. And to me, first of all, I get it. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know if you're you don't know who's really seeing it. Like, I would never advise a healthcare company. Like, we don't want to put customer information in at this point because you just don't know where it's going to show up. I mean, we just want to make it, and it's hard because, once you put your information into AI, it's really being it's in the system and things know about it. Now let's just talk about it. There's positive and there's negatives. I put a lot of information into AI. I asked people, Eric, I got 3 leads from people on ChatGPT from me.
Are they human?
Yeah, I got three engagements out of it. But so everyone here, and you also, have to be careful because there's a lot of technology companies that will charge you an arm and a leg for, coming up with an AI strategy. But I would almost tell everyone here, get an account, get it with ChatGPT, and run some information in on it. Like, what do you want to do? Like, what do you want to use your AI for?
Yeah.
Do you want to use it to build your marketing plans? I use it all the time in marketing. I mean, I'm using it now to help me write a book. I mean, it's just doing some amazing things. But it's also when we start putting customer information in, when we start putting financials in, we run the risk of other people getting their hands on it.
Yeah. Yep.
And I would secure your platform with 2-factor authentication. Because if someone says to your Chat GPT, they're going to be able to see everything that's in.
Yeah. Yeah. There definitely are horror stories and when things have gone bad. But those are the extremes. And again, kind of what Scott has said and what Jared has said, you go back to what is it that you want to do with it? Do you want a baby step? Marketing is a great way.
Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and I was hoping that I could use it for just data analysis. So what we're talking about is like impressions and clicks and, conversions of like paid Facebook ads. So it's marketing data, not personal information. And just will make my job easier. And also the machine can, because it brings in best practices, it can give good insights.
Yes.
So
it depends on what type of information you're collecting though too there. So be mindful of that as well. Like, it may not seem, But if you're able to compile like a name, an address, and a phone number and an email address, right, like a physical address, and compile all that stuff together, now you're creating a profile for the individual. If that entire stuff, correct me if I'm wrong, Scott, but I mean, there's like if you compile enough of that stuff together and that all gets leaked together, that somebody can create a profile on an individual, then theoretically that could be considered a breach or an incident, right? So be mindful of that as well.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like a social security number per se, right? It can be so.
Cool. Yeah. I think Scott got booted out. His picture's still here. Somebody get a screenshot of his resting Zoom face just so I can have that for future reference.
Should we get one where we're all doing it?
Oh, there he goes. Dang. I'll have to get that off of the replay. So, as it relates to marketing data, I agree. If you're going in and you're analyzing like email opens and clicks and whatnot, but when you start looking at stuff that's like coming out of Google Analytics, or you're maybe analyzing hashtag utilization or click-through rates, that data is typically anonymized already. You know, Google's not even collecting IP addresses or any of that other stuff. So in theory, you should be just fine grabbing that information, screenshots, downloads. In my session today with GSB, I took an example of a screenshot from a platform called Bank Marketing Center that gives you the ability to post to social media and use hashtags. And those hashtags are then used and analyzed inside of BMC that look at most used, most clicked on, and most engaged. And the engaged are the ones that you want to pay closest attention to, because those are the ones that are indicating, hey, there's an interest, there's a conversation, there's a comment. That's when, and so we took that screenshot and it looked at it. It gave us content ideas across Facebook and LinkedIn. It analyzed what topics people are interested in. And that does not have any semblance of PII associated with it. So, but getting someone to understand that if they're coming from a place of fear is certainly a challenge. So Scott is now full screen. You're even larger and in charger now. Yeah, look at that. He's got his fan going. You poor thing.
It's the neighborhood subdivision in Nashville.
I was gonna say that's not really your backyard, because I know you don't have as many friends as can fill all of those chaise lounges. So
I don't have any friends, you know that. Except Regents Bank. They're director of marketing because she pays me.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, it's challenging, guys, because, you know, we're very risk adverse, especially when it comes to the world of technology. And I'm going to be honest with you. You know, I've seen a lot of companies get.
Looks like the clubhouse is a little wanting in its Wi-Fi capabilities.
Yeah, seems like
I have a question. Why do you have a ceiling fan when you're outside?
Yeah,
that makes no sense.
It's to circulate all the hot air that goes up to the top to push it back down and keep you warm.
You just have too much money, dude. You have too much money. No, I'm just kidding.
Like that government pension, I guess. So no, I think he's at the clubhouse. So there's I don't know.
Listen, I am the internet's a little shoddy here.
Yeah,
okay?
they're not, the internet gods are not smiling very fondly upon you, Mr. Augenbaum. So
yeah, you know,
yeah.
So listen, I'll send you something to send out. Listen, just one last thing before I die. I just came back as an expert witness on a case. It was a case where a financial institution had a client that didn't have two-factor authentication. This went back from 2021. The financial institution got a message to add a new authorized user. And they followed the instructions in the email because they kept saying it was a legitimate email. Million loss. Okay? So now we have two parties spending $1 million to get dollars back.
Yeah. got to be careful. And Scott's gone as well. So yeah, with that,
What's up, man?
yeah, I was
John,
going
you
to
go
say,
get my Metallica koozie and get a beer.
I think so. Yeah. It looks like Dane got dropped as well. So I don't know what's going on. I know he had some other questions just from a digital marketing perspective as to what he's got going on at his new bank gig. But since it's just you and me, what's shaking in your world? What's keeping you up at night? What gets you excited, both personally and professionally? What's happening?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Lots happening. We're heading into audit and exam season. So we've got 2 back-to-back audits we're facing in the course of June, July, and into August. Probably will wrap those up in September, and then we head right into the federal exam after that. So just rapid fire. So we got a lot going on, but AI is kind of what keeps me up at night, man. Because I'm all for the usage of it. It's just controlled usage. You got to control the chaos, right?
Yeah.
But it's like the level of which and the speed of which it's advancing, and understanding, like when you get into reviewing an AI vendor and understanding what the actual model looks like, or is it an agent that pulls its information from other main agents, right? Because a lot of them will do that. They'll pull the information from multitude, like they'll use ChatGPT to pull some information because ChatGPT is better at compiling certain types of information versus Claude, right? So the agent to agent. So this, when you look at the privacy and the security around this and how they use data for the agent that you're actually reviewing, right, to use. It may have a certain structure in place, like from a contractual agreement standpoint and what its policies are, but it's the downstream agents from that then, like the fourth party AI agents, if you want to call it that, right?
Yep.
So does that apply across the board for all of those, right? So at A to A, and then also when you're looking at the validation aspect, so if it's agent to agent, is there also what's called I'm sure you're familiar with the model context protocol, right, of AI agents. So when you're looking at, is it A to A or is it MCP? Is it a combination of all of that? And
Elemental P, XYZ.
That's right.
Bingo was his name-o.
That's right. So from a review standpoint, that's honestly what keeps me up at night is like, it's a necessary evil, if you want to call it that. We all need to be utilizing AI. That's my stance.
Yeah.
But we just got to control the chaos, right?
No, I agree. And it goes back to, figuring out the risks and putting in the checks and the balances and the controls. It's like lightning in a bottle. And once that cap starts getting loose, man, watch out.
Anthropic said too, right? Like about a year and a half ago, their learning progression of the agent was like doubling every 6 months or so.
Yeah.
And now it's stepped up to every 4 months. So doubling every 6 months is still a logarithmic curve. And then when you add like a year later, now we're going every 4 months, man, that curve is really skyrocketing. And so does that, as that learning progression happens and new versions roll out, then does that constitute a new vendor review for them, right? If we're stepping up into the new version, and what does that process look like? So, that's what we're manhandling right now as we speak.
I would agree. So, Dane, are you back? I see you went off camera, but I'm wondering if you still have got audio. There you are. Yeah. So, you got a ton of nerd info as it relates to AI. So if you can use any of that to be able to help make a case, and spark a conversation. So, lean on us. Happy to help however we can.
Yeah.
So
if you want to reach out for anything, because we're doing a lot with AI as well. So if you want to reach out for any questions on things, happy to provide feedback on what we're doing.
Sure will. Thanks.
Cool. Yeah.
Of course.
So what else in your new role of digital marketing analyst? You had a couple of other things that you shot to me over in a DM on LI. So what else is on your roadmap?
Yeah. Okay. Second thing, how are people at your banks that you work for using email to cross-sell products or increase deposits or basically sell the products to the customers you already have.
Yeah. Jared, are you guys using email marketing much at your bank? Is that anything that you're familiar with?
That's really not my bailiwick right now.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
We're putting ropes around how to use that. So yes, we are like communication with prospects and clients, right? Through email. I don't know how heavy marketing is with it, but again, we go back to like controlling the chaos. So we're putting like, we have DLP processes in place in our email, data loss prevention, that'll scan for like, PI information and things like that. If it's going out, it's automatically getting encrypted, and things like that, like double checking things. So just keep that in mind. That's but yeah, for when you get into the specifics of how we're using it from a marketing standpoint, that's not my world.
Yeah. I would say there's several layers of capability as it relates to email. At the top of the food chain, you got emails that are triggered based off of core integration, product and service utilization, transactional signals, and then you kind of work your way down. Starting off, I would say, first off, think about how and what you want to communicate. It's not hey, let's take all 10,000 emails from online banking and blast them the same message. It really is about trying to figure, okay, well, what are the things we want to chat about? Do we have some information about mortgage loans, and who in our universe would be interested in hearing about mortgage loans, or community events and activities, or cybersecurity tips and, suggestions? And when people sign up or opt in, give them the option to select what topics they're interested in. And if you don't have a sign up that is doing it that well, you can always send an initial email and say, hey, we want to communicate with you. We want to give you content that you're interested in. If you have particular topics of interest, let us know, and just give them the ability to opt into different elements. And a lot of the email marketing platforms will give you the ability to do that. And an email marketing platform is also really important because it's going to help maintain your CAN spam compliance. So opt out and unsubscribe. Even if you upload somebody again down the road, if they've got that opt out flag triggered, it's not going to put them back into an email campaign. Nope, sorry, Eric opted out 6 months ago. You can't email him from this platform. But the banks that really start getting progressive are the ones that are trying to figure out ways that they can tie into or get signals from the core for things like onboarding. Hey, Dane, welcome to the bank. We appreciate you opening your checking account. Here's some follow-up information. Make sure that you check for your debit card, and here's your link to your online. Those sorts of things are a little bit more specialized than one-off, but you've got the ability to do first name and put the information in the header and whatnot.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Oh, yep. I was just going to tell you, Eric, the reason I've been like MIA this past year and a half is because I got a job with an email marketing agency. So
nice.
I was just doing work like that, not as much with banks. We did have bankrate.com as a client. So we did do some of that. But here's the reason why I'm asking everybody on this call is because, most of my work there was with like consumer brands. Any online retailers always have a sale, so they're always trying to like send coupons out. This, financial services, very, very, very different from that. But I still think there's a lot of techniques that are underutilized with banks, where we could be using them to cross sell. Or how about an automated send when rates hit a certain threshold that somebody is interested in for a mortgage or something. There's a lot of untapped potential there. So
yeah. I'd intentionally, kind of to tie it back, because everything ties back to AI these days, but I would intentionally, or fraud, is be really careful about any sort of links to like click here to log into your account, or things that could potentially be used to create fraud. Give them the ability to stop back, visit our website, and then start an application, so that they go directly to yourbankwebsite.com, and then they can see that. Because if you drive them to an application system that may or may not be a URL they're familiar with, it could be a potential spoof, could raise a red flag. You may run into hesitancy to engage. One of the, and I don't know whether this was a trend that you saw in your email job previous, but Michael Stelzner over at Social Media Examiner, and I'm not sure if things have changed, but he recently, I don't say recently, but their email structure had changed to providing a lot of information in the email itself, so that you didn't have to come back to the website, like giving you a mini blog post inside of the email. People are busy. They click on the email. Let me just read everything right here. Click-through rates and other engagement metrics didn't bode so well, but they were getting a lot of people that were reading the content and familiarizing themselves with the brand, and agreed that they were just going to meet people where they were, as opposed to try to get them to change their behavior. Because we've all gotten emails where we're like, oh, I'm going to flag this one as not read. I'm going to come back to it because that looks like it's got some good stuff. How many people go back and read those emails? You flagged it with a red exclamation point or a green star. You put it in a special folder. If you can consume that content right while you're there, it's almost like the world of Snapchat. Would you rather have 30 seconds of their undivided attention because you know that it's going to disappear if they don't look at it, or a really long in-depth post that they'll bookmark but never come back to? And, that's kind of another thing to do some testing with, to see which format may or may not work better. So those are a couple of additional thoughts as it relates to the wonderful world of email. So
I can totally relate to the bookmark thing, by the way.
I was going to say, like, am I the only one that does that? Because I won't come back and read that. But a lot of the emails that I get do have that full story in the actual, and then there's a couple of calls to action that will pull you back, but you can get a really good gist of what's going on by just reading the email, and then you're done. You move on.
Sure.
They saw that you opened it, but it's better than it not even being something that you want in your inbox and you unsubscribe and send it away. Yep. So, yeah. Yep. So, were those the two items, or was there something else that you had DM'd me, or anything else going on in the wonderful world of digital analytics?
Those are my two questions for now. But one thing to let you guys know, if you ever do work with email, open rates are considered like not valuable anymore.
Yeah.
Because, okay, in case you didn't know, I think it's like Apple or some domains, like, just if it lands in the inbox, it's counted as open. So it's really hard, to tell but it can be used for like tracking deliverability. So if you see a fall off of open rates, then that's a red flag that there might be a deliverability issue. Anyway, that's a topic for another day.
That's a good point. You say that. I remember now, I did a presentation. I think it was Apple Mail that was like pre-opening the email to be able to scrub like the headers and all this other stuff before it actually hit the inbox. And even if they didn't really open it, the signal back to the mail server was that you opened it. And that was a false number. Yeah.
And like in general, Apple's attitude toward advertisers is forget you.
Yeah.
Which is okay.
Oh, too funny.
Good thing you make money. Good thing you make money selling hardware.
I don't sell any hardware. Luckily, I'm not a hardware guy. The only hardware I ever sell is when I talk about something really cool on Amazon, and then maybe I'll get like 30 cents. That's huge. So, kind of related to the email, what kind of triggered a thought was website cookies and consent. Somebody crackling? Am I crackling? Are you crackling? Someone's crackling.
I think I must be.
I don't know. But yeah, websites and consent, and plaintiff attorneys from certain states that shall remain nameless, but lawsuits and claiming, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't know if that's anything that you're dealing with now or familiar with, but we've seen that kind of rising as an issue and a hot topic as to what you are collecting on your customers, your visitors when they show up to your website, and how that impacts your analytics.
Yes.
We're seeing, we've embraced explicit consent, which means you have to say yes in order for tracking like analytics and Crazy Egg and scripts and conversion pixels to load. Honestly, the biggest thing that we've seen is Facebook traffic being, or the ability to track Facebook traffic just going right into the tank, because that seems to be the biggest one. And I think that is giving us a signal that maybe there's a lot more bot traffic from Facebook ads than what we had originally suspected or understood. But that's becoming a pretty hot topic with a lot of website owners. So you said yes. What's been your experience?
So again, I've only been on my new team for 2 weeks now, but one of the first initiatives we're doing is updating our pop-up, because originally what we had, or currently what we have, is a pop-up that says, just know that we are using cookies to track data and provide you with a better marketing experience. But I was on a call this week with a vendor who can redo that for us and set us up with a pop-up where you can toggle off the types of cookies you want to share.
Yeah.
So, and that is a compliance directive.
Yep. Yeah. We partnered with CookieBot. I've seen Cookie Yes as being another solution that is out there. And I know there's others. We chose to just keep it simple with just either, hey, this website uses cookies, you either allow or reject, and that's it. Not even really giving that granular. We may come back at some point. We are looking at a third-party open source potential analytics tool that would give us the ability to bring that inside of our ecosystem. So it's no longer sending data someplace else. So we could track the data. And even if somebody opts out of cookies and tracking and scripts, because it's on our server and it's ours, open sourced, we still would be able to capture some of that analytics data. So, so that's something that we're investigating, because we don't want to give up that analytic information about site visitors, even though site visitors are continuing to decline thanks to AI search. It is what it is. So, yeah, cool. What else do you guys want to chat about?
Is it mezcal tequila, or what type of tequila you got going on over there?
Yeah, that's the important question there, right?
This is a Casamigos Reposado.
Reposado. Yeah. All right. Casamigos is a good one too.
Yeah. I have coffee, but that's about it. So
I got the same thing going on still, the late day coffee, right?
Yeah, exactly. Nice and warm, right?
Oh yeah, nice and warm. It's like I'm just pulled out of the freezer.
It's all about
freezer warm. Yeah.
No, it's all about in the summertime having that iced coffee or a cold brew in the afternoon.
Yeah.
You ever do that?
I need to put ice in it. Yeah. It's just cold because it was hot about 6 hours ago. That's the reason. That's the only reason it's cooler coffee, because I haven't refreshed it and brought it back up. So yeah. So anyway, well, here in Michigan, I'm excited. The weather is getting warm and we're starting to see a little bit of sunshine. We've got the Michigan Bankers annual convention coming up, and I get to return to the Grand Hotel on Mackinac Island. I'm just going to throw that out there for anybody that's listening. If you've not been to Northern Michigan and gotten on the ferry to go to Mackinac Island to experience that, you need to put that on your bucket list. And I know, Jarrett, you've been there, and it is a magical place. There's no cars. It's bikes and horses and fudge. But it's pretty cool. And I've had the pleasure of growing up a spoiled brat kid of a banker who drugged me up there. Poor me, had to get in coat and tie as a little kid to mill around the Grand Hotel. But oh my gosh,
poor Eric.
I know. I didn't know how well I had it until I was like, oh, you mean other kids don't do this every summer? Wait a minute. Oh, I should probably stop complaining about that because that's a really cool thing.
It is cool. It is very cool. Yeah.
So excited to be back for that. Got a lot of other events on the calendar this year. And so the travel, most of which are events and sessions talking about AI. People just want to learn. Lots of people like your CEO, worried and concerned, wondering what's going on, not wanting to make the move. So it's about building comfort and awareness and just getting familiar with what's what. So,
but get comfortable quickly. You don't want to get left behind. Yeah,
that's for sure. I often use the analogy, and I'm sure you've seen it before, but the YouTube videos where you've got somebody that's got a treadmill that's going like at 14 miles an hour and they decide they're just going to hop on and start running. And then they get shot right off the back and their pants go down or, to me, that's not the look that you want when we're going to get into AI now. When you jump on the treadmill and it's a lot easier to work yourself up to that pace.
Or the shoes fly off.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Some of those.
You don't want to be.
That's a good analogy. I like that. Good.
So I'm sure there's a way I could come up with a really cool AI video that would even reinforce my point further. But I've not.
I kind of like the idea. Maybe you've already done this, but like the pool floaties or whatever. Like you need to come up with some kind of an AI image of yourself in the pool floaties. Like, is this
jumping in the pool?
Yeah.
Well, I did introduce the AI innovation series folks to Baby Eric today. So I had Baby Eric do a little intro for me and sitting in his high chair with his podcasting studio attire ready to roll. So
cool.
Baby Eric would definitely be a floaties kind of kid. So that's for sure. Cool. Good. Well, we're coming to the tail end of our happy hour. Is there anything else either of you want to toss out for discussion or talk about?
I'm good. Yeah, this has been good though. Thank you, Eric, for putting this on.
Cool. Yeah, it's good to catch up with you. And Dane, congratulations on the new job and the role. I see that you got us on mute. Maybe you're paying the bill and getting ready to leave, or maybe your cheese
ordering another one
arrived. Yeah, exactly. So get extra marinara for me, would you? Although I don't know if you would get that at a Peruvian restaurant, but get more tequila.
No, that is a very different culture.
Yeah, exactly.
More tequila.
That'll be perfect. So
how about a frozen margarita?
That's hilarious.
All right, I'm gonna log off now. Bye.
There you go. You've got work to do. So
good to reconnect with you, Eric.
Yes, likewise.
I'll be seeing you a lot more of you.
Sounds cool.
Thank you.
From the restaurant. Yes.
And Garrett, I will reach out to you on LinkedIn.
Yeah, please do. Cool. Yeah, look good.
Garrett.
All right, man. Nice to meet you.
Good.
Take care, guys.
Take care, where are your travels? You got anything exciting and fun coming up for the summer?
Well, not really, because it's hard to make plans when you got audits and stuff like that, like hammering you, right? So, not sure how those are going to play out yet. Trying to get some R&R time scheduled in there somewhere, but nothing yet. We'd like to we talked about starting to hit like the national parks. Why not hit the ones that are in our backyard, right? Like, you got in Ohio, you got the Cuyahoga Falls and Park over there, right? Indiana Dunes. I grew up in Indiana and have never been to the Indiana Dunes, believe it or not.
What's up with that?
I know, right? And then
it's like growing up in
Peninsula's got one near like Houghton, right?
Yeah. I said that's like growing up in Michigan and never making it to the UP.
There's a national park near Houghton, right? I don't know what the name of it is.
In the UP or Houghton Lake?
No, in the UP.
In the UP. Okay. Houghton Lake gets confused with Houghton Hancock a lot. I know that was not what you had meant, but I just wanted to make sure. Right. I don't know if the porcupines are a national park or not.
Okay.
I'm not sure, but the Porkies are really cool. Lake of the Clouds and that's over on the western part of the UP. That's got some pretty amazing views and it's cool. It's absolutely gorgeous. So
make note of that.
Strong recommendation of that. Tequamanon Falls, Pictured Rock National Lakeshore. up in the Marquette area. Those are all definitely bucket list places, especially if you're in the Michigan area. There's so much cool stuff to do in our state, which is pretty awesome. So,
yeah, I mean, the way I look at it is they were labeled a national park for a reason.
Yep.
Right? And I know the UP's full of great parks just in general. So just going up there and spending a week would be great. But yeah, it's like where I'm at now at my age, I couldn't get through all the national parks if I hit one a year before, like there's that many, and they're pretty special when you start looking them up. It's like, my goodness, yeah, what am I doing? Why aren't I going and seeing these places?
Yeah, exactly. Well, we need to sign off from the happy hour and go buy lottery tickets. And then when we win the Mega Million and we don't need to work anymore, then it's just
that's all we do. It's travel around the park,
road tripping.
Pups,
so
right?
get in the RV, grab the dogs, and just head out. Just make it happen.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan, man.
Yeah,
so you get your ticket right after this.
That's a perfect retirement strategy. What could go wrong?
Absolutely nothing. I think it's great.
What could go wrong? So
cool.
Well, listen, thanks for joining me and coming up. It was great to reconnect. Tell Lee I said hi, and
I will.
Good to see you. So
yeah,
hopefully we'll catch you on another happy hour down the road. We're live the second Thursday of every month at 5 p.m. Eastern time. Unless something happens and I've got to be somewhere or in front of someone, which I don't think is coming up quite yet. The LinkedBanker community, we also go live, but we're going to have to skip it again this month. Usually the third Wednesdays. Our LinkedBanker is a private mastermind community that you can become a part of, but there is a cost associated with it. But we've got a private community with lots of recordings of sessions that we've done in masterminds and whatnot. So if you're interested in learning more about that, you're more than welcome to pop over to the LinkedBanker/join and check all that out, or just reach out to me and hit me up on LinkedIn or any of the socials. I'd be happy to share with you what we're doing over at the LinkedBanker and give you some more info there. So, but that I think is it. The June happy hour is in the can. I feel a little guilty. I didn't bring any tequila or margarita. I call it a happy hour, and Dane put us both to shame, but we're just going to have to suck on our cold coffee, I guess. So cheers to you, my friend.
Cheers, man.
Yep. Later. We'll see you next month.